Hey everyone, today we're diving into a really important topic, one that affects millions of people but is still kind of misunderstood: diabetes. We're going to break down what it is, talk about its hidden dangers, and, most importantly, cover the simple, powerful steps you can take to prevent it.
So let's just jump right in with the big question. You've probably heard high blood sugar called a silent threat. And that's because, well, it doesn't exactly scream for your attention. The signs are subtle, and damage can happen before you even know it. But the good news is, prevention is totally possible. The real question is, how do we do it? Let's find out.
Okay, first things first. Before we can talk about preventing something, we've got to understand what it is we're up against. So, what exactly is diabetes? Let's make it crystal clear.
At its heart, it's all about a balancing act. See, your body runs on energy from a sugar called glucose. But when there's way too much of that sugar floating around in your blood, it starts to cause some serious problems. And that usually happens because this one crucial hormone, insulin, just isn't doing its job right.
I love this analogy because it makes it so easy to picture. Imagine every single cell in your body has a little locked door. Insulin is the key that unlocks that door, allowing sugar to get inside and be used for fuel. But with diabetes, you've got a problem with the key. Either you don't have enough keys to go around, or the keys you do have are kind of bent and don't fit the locks anymore. Either way, the sugar gets locked out, building up in your bloodstream. And that's where the trouble really starts.
And, this key problem really shows up in two main ways. With type 1, it's like the factory that makes the keys has been completely shut down. The body just doesn't produce any insulin at all. But with type 2, which is way more common, the key factory is still running. It's just that the keys it's making don't quite work properly anymore. And since this type is so often linked to our lifestyle choices, that's exactly what we're going to focus on preventing.
Okay, so now we know what diabetes is. But why is it called a silent threat? Well, it's because those early warning signs can be surprisingly easy to brush off, while the long-term dangers are incredibly serious.
So as we go through this next part, I want you to just think for a second. Have you, or maybe someone you know, been experiencing any of these things? Because paying attention right now could literally be life-changing. And it's wild how all these symptoms are connected. See, when there's too much sugar in your blood, your kidneys go into overdrive trying to flush it out. That's why you're always thirsty and running to the bathroom. And because your cells aren't getting that sugar for energy, you feel completely wiped out all the time. These aren't just little annoyances, they're your body's alarm bells.
And if those alarms are ignored for too long, the consequences are, well, they're severe. Over time, all that extra sugar in your blood acts like a slow poison, damaging tiny blood vessels and nerves all over your body. This can lead to some really devastating complications like heart attacks, kidney failure, even blindness. This is exactly why prevention isn't just a nice idea, it is absolutely essential.
All right, I know that was the heavy part, but now we get to pivot to the most empowering part of this whole discussion, what we can actually do about it. Let's talk prevention.
And here is the fantastic news. Unlike so many other serious health conditions, type 2 diabetes is not your destiny. It's not set in stone. It really comes down to the choices we make every single day. And we're not talking about some radical, impossible life overhaul. It's about small, consistent adjustments that add up over time.
So let's break down the action plan. These first 3 steps right here, they are the absolute cornerstones of prevention. Eating a healthy, balanced diet, getting about 30 minutes of physical activity a day, even just a brisk walk, and keeping your weight in a healthy range. I mean, these 3 things alone can slash your risk dramatically.
But hey, it doesn't stop there. Managing your stress is huge because stress hormones can actually raise your blood sugar. Staying hydrated helps your kidneys do their job of flushing things out. And finally, being proactive and getting regular checkups lets you catch any potential issues super early when they're much easier to handle.
So you might be wondering, okay, who really needs to be on top of this? Well, if you have diabetes in your family, if you're carrying a little extra weight, or if you're over 40, it is definitely time to be proactive. And when you go to the doctor, ask for 2 specific tests. The first is a fasting sugar test. That's like a snapshot of your blood sugar in that moment. But the second one, the HbA1c test, is amazing. It gives you a 3-month average, showing the bigger picture of how your body's been managing sugar over time.
You know, after all this information, you might be thinking, how am I supposed to remember all of this? Well, there's a perfect, really simple way to sum it all up. Let's just call it the formula for health.
And there it is. Seriously, if you take away just one single thing from our chat today, let it be this simple equation. Healthy food plus a daily walk plus weight management equals diabetes prevention. It really can be that straightforward. This is your personal formula for a healthier future.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. Because knowing all this stuff is great, but it's acting on it that really makes the difference. So look at that formula. What's the one small, doable step you're going to take for your health starting today? Your future self is definitely going to thank you for it.